This house is recreated to look like the home that Joseph Smith's parents and Joseph lived in. And the historians have done a really good job in reconstructing this house, so it's just like the house where Joseph lay. I can't come into this house without remembering the night of September 21st in 1823. Joseph was asleep on the bed in the attic of this house. And you know what happened on September 21st, 1823? Andrew?
The angel Moroni came to him.
The angel Moroni came to him. And he said the light that Angel Moroni brought into the room made it feel like broad daylight. And the others in the family didn't even wake up. But Moroni came to him, not just once, but again and again, and told him that he would be able to be an instrument in the hands of God in bringing back the Church of Jesus Christ upon the earth. And he said, that's about all I'll tell you now. But he came back on September 21st, the next year, and the next year, and the next year. And then on that same anniversary, September 21st in 1827, he'd schooled Joseph and prepared Joseph to receive his next assignment, which was to translate the Book of Mormon. But he didn't tell him about that until he told him where the plates were. Then he got the plates, and then Joseph didn't know how to read them. They're all written in an ancient language. He'd never been to the university. And yet the Lord said, you're going to translate these records. Now I'll help you. So he gave him some help. Oliver Scribe came to write down what the words were. And at any rate, it was right here in a room like this one upstairs where the angel Moroni came. And that's why we have the Book of Mormon, because it came starting with the visit of angel Moroni. He had eternal responsibility for those records, so that when Joseph was through translating, he gave them back to Moroni. But Joseph had those records for about 2 years. We wouldn't have that Book of Mormon without the angel Moroni and without the gift and power of God, which allowed Joseph to translate those records. This morning, in an earlier meeting, we looked at one of the original pages of that writing of Oliver Cowdery as the words were dictated by the prophet Joseph Smith. And he didn't dictate periods and question marks and paragraphs and so on, just one steady stream of words. And they printed that first edition. Some of those paragraphs were 7 pages long. They were divided into chapters and verses like we now study later on by Orson Pratt, one of the 12 apostles. But that Book of Mormon is absolute, irrefutable evidence that these things all transpired, that God and Jesus Christ came, that they sent heavenly messengers, Moses, Elias, Elijah, John the Baptist, Peter, James, and John, all to teach the prophet and to help give him the authority as well as the information to reestablish the Church of Jesus Christ once again upon the earth. That's a long answer to a short question, Ivan, but all these things come to mind as I visit this holy area, this area of Upper New York.
That's so important, though. Thank you, President Nelson, because these precious children, we want them to be able to develop testimonies of the prophet Joseph Smith as the prophet of the Restoration, and of the Book of Mormon, which, as you so beautifully described, was translated, was made possible because of the prophet Joseph. And to have a testimony of prophets I want you to know that I know President Nelson is a prophet of God, boys and girls. He was called by God. He was prepared long before this earth to come and be your prophet today. And I love him. And I'm so grateful to Heavenly Father for giving us this wonderful man as our prophet today.